Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, July the 24th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open lower with ASX futures down around 0.6%. Rising oil prices has sparked a sell-off on global equity markets after Yemen's Houthis struck two Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea, extending the Middle East war to a second major shipping choke point. President Trump has vowed a major military punishment for Iran and its Houthi allies. The development soured investor sentiment on Wall Street, while the Nasdaq sank more than 2% as the latest earnings updates from large tech companies revived concerns about heavy AI spending. Investors were unimpressed by the second quarter results from Alphabet, its shares losing more than 7% after it reported higher spending plans, while it also burned cash. Separately, it's disclosed that its stake in the AI startup Anthropic has soared to around $124 billion. And Tesla tumbled more than 14%, its biggest percentage drop in more than a year, as its AI spending also spooked the market. Intel reported after the bell, forecasting quarterly profit and revenue above estimates, pushing its shares up higher, around 12% in after-hours trade, while it's boosting spending plans over the next 2 years as AI data center build-out increases demand for its central processing units. Advanced Market Devices announced a raft of new products for data centers. It said it will outperform those from rival Nvidia, although its shares fell on the news. Shares of Lockheed rallied after it lifted 2026 sales and profit forecasts. Thermo Fisher Scientific rallied after the medical equipment maker raised its annual profit forecast and beat estimates for second quarter results. Honeywell raised its full-year profit forecast, helped by resilient demand for its industrial and building automation products. And Blackstone, the world's largest alternative asset manager, beat expectations for second quarter income as it cashed in on investments and reaped profits from bets on AI. President Trump has promised to punish Iran and its Houthi allies after the Yemeni fighters struck two Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea, effectively closing a second major shipping choke point in the Middle East. That sent global oil prices surging, while insurance costs of shipping goods through the southern Red Sea have doubled. The US military launched another round of airstrikes on Iran overnight, prompting Iran to fire at neighbouring Arab countries that host US military bases. Elsewhere, the ECB has left its deposit rate on hold at 2.25%. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde saying risks to the inflation outlook are to the upside. The energy shock could intensify further, and its effects on other prices and wages could be stronger than currently expected. And the number of Americans seeking unemployment benefits fell last week to the lowest level since the 1960s. Well, benchmark 10-year Treasury yields have climbed to their highest level in 18 months as the market factors in the inflationary effects of surging oil prices. The 10-year rising to 4.71%, the 2-year jumping to 4.36%. Australian 3-year government bond yield futures rose to 4.7%, while the 10-year was up to 5.1%. The US dollar index up around 0.5% and has climbed to a fresh 40-year high against the yen. The Aussie has fallen back to 69.7 US cents. Well, oil prices settled above $100 for the first time since May, following the attack on Saudi tankers in the Red Sea, which has further disrupted global supplies. Brent futures jumping 7% to $100.70 a barrel. Goldman Sachs is forecasting that Brent may exceed $120 a barrel in the fourth quarter, and average around $100 next year if the Strait of Hormuz remains disrupted through 2027, with the likelihood of higher prices if the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and Suez Canal also suffer persistent disruptions. Gold fell more than 2% on inflation concerns and the possibility of interest rate hikes. Spot gold at around $4,047 an ounce. Copper futures, they fell 2.5%. Iron ore rose 1% to $99 a tonne, and Bitcoin has fallen back to $65,000. Locally today, in the gold space, Newmont is set to release its earnings report, while Regis Resources provides a quarterly update. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again on Monday.